The planet of Duel Terminal, ruled by 4 tribes. The 4 tribes were the Lavalves, the Gem Knights, the Gishkis, and the Gustos. The Lavalves were born into fighting. Even when they were young, from birth, they loved to fight.
The war began with the Lavalves. Tribe born with a blazing fighting spirit, they engaged in a battle against a neighboring tribe, the Gem Knights.
The Lavalve Judgment Lord attacked. Most of the Gem Knights have fallen. Gem Knight Ruby held back Lavalve Judgment Lord.
Ruby, the leader of the Gem Knights, gave up his life so that he may save his comrades. With Ruby slain,
the leader of the Lavalves, Lavalve the Greater, he aimed to take over the Gem Knights with its secret power. The Lavalves always saw a purpose in death, in something Gem Knights could never see.
The water tribe of the Gishkis had recently gained the power of the legendary Ice Barrier tribe of the past. Despite this, however, they did not have the required energy to perform their rituals. In order to obtain this energy, they sought the Mist Valley, home of the Gustos.
The Gustos, which had made the Mist Valleys their homeland. The Gishkis invaded the Gustos. All the Gustos could do would be to defend their homeland. Once the Gishkis had made contact with the Gustos, the priestess of the Gustos, Winda, fought back the invaders, pushing them back into the seas.
And so begun the Second Great War of the Duel Terminal. But despite the raging battles being fought all across the world, none of the 4 tribes held the power to finish the other off. Due to all the severe amount of fighting happening on the surface world, the ancient seal of the tribe of the Steelswarms had been broken. Centuries ago, the mighty tribe of light, the Vylon, had sealed away the evil Steelswarms centuries ago, deep beneath the planet.
As the Gishkis and the Gustos fought, from time to time again, the Steelswarms had come before the Gustos and Gishkis and destroyed everything before their very eyes. After the Steelswarms had striked on the wind and the water, known as the Gishkis and the Gustos.
First step toward infestation.
Some of the remaining Gishkis that survived, Gishki Ariel, then went on to resurrect the fallen Gishkis that have fallen from the attack from the Steelswarms. As for the Gustos, they did the same thing. From the attack from the Steelswarms and the Gishkis, Cam used the little strength she had left from the war to help save her fallen Gusto comrades.
The Steelswarms were not satisfied with only one victory, and proceeded to invade on the fight happening between the Lavalves and the Gem Knights.
With Steelswarm Moth leading them on, attacking head-on, the Vylons could not watch any longer. The Vylons have descended onto the battlefield, with its leaders, Vylon Sigma and Vylon Espilon.
Unfortunately, the Steelswarms had finally regained their lost power, and Steelswarm Longhorn led them into battle, eager to take revenge on the Vylon for stealing them away.
The Vylons knew that they themselves could not hold back the Steelswarms for much longer. The Vylons shared their own power within the 4 tribes as hope, using their most precious device, Vylon Element, fusing their powers with the 4 tribes. The first one to endure this was Gem Knight Crystal, the new leader, mixing and fusing his energy with Vylon Prisma, creating Gem Knight Prismora. The next was Lavalve Cannon, mixing with Vylon Stellar, forming Lavalve Stanon. The Queen of the Gishkis, Noelia, fused with Vylon Tetra, creating Evagishki Tet Ogre, transforming Noelia into her ultimate form. Gusco Reese fused with Vylon Sphere, creating Daigusto Spheres. With Sphere's ability, with the Whirlwind of Gusto, decided to resurrect Winda and Guldo that are now back from the beginning of this war.
The ultimate showdown between light and darkness had begun. But despite all their valiant efforts, the tribes, even combined with the Vylon's power, could not hold off the Steelswarms for long. The leader of the Steelswarm, Hercules, powers himself up so that he can confront the tribes in one final battle. In response to this, the Vylon send their most powerful member, Vylon Omega. With his mighty strength, he turns Hercules into dust. The tribes rejoice in this. The Steelswarms had finally been destroyed. Though they could not rest easy. The Vylons turned on the four tribes, blaming their war for releasing the Steelswarm. They hoped to eliminate the tribes in order to prevent any future wars. Being threatened by the Vylons' judgment, the tribes joined together in an effort to combat them. Their combined might proving too strong for the Vylons, so they promptly fled. The tribes broke up their temporary alignment, and for now, there was peace.
The Lavalves have now become a massive power source to fuel the rituals of the Gishkis. The Gishkis decided now in this moment of weakness to take over the Mist Valley region in order to collect raw material for their projects, which began a large genocide against the Gustos.
The Gem Knights, with their strong sense of justice, interfered and saved the remaining Gustos. But unbeknownst to any of the tribes, a single cell from Hercules' body had survived, and it released a deadly virus. It spread across the entire dual terminal world, bringing back the dead and infecting both it and the living.
Seeing nothing but despair around them, as their own allies would attack one another, they prayed for assistance of the Constellars, their messiah, a legend that has been passed down from generations. As this invasion of the evil swarms continued, the Gishki queen, Noelia, created a ritual, one that would be strong enough to resurrect the 3 legendary dragons. However, to revive the 3 legendary dragons, she needed 3 sacrifices. She first targeted Emilia. When Emilia was sacrificed, Avance saw what happened to her and tried to save her. However, Avance tried to strike back against the queen, Noelia. However, she used a powerful ritual, turning him into a monster. She transformed him into an Evagishki. Natalia has seen the strike of hatred that has been passed down onto her brother, Avance. She tried to strike back and to fight back against the Queen Noelia. However, she was also sacrificed. The ritual had begun. Queen Noelia sacrificing her 3 once comrades to fuel the sacrifice to bring back the 3 legendary dragons. However, Queen Noelia had no strength left. After fueling the ritual of both Avance and the ritual to bring back the 3 legendary ice dragons, she was left weak. She had deep regret of what happened, shedding tears for her fallen comrades, but hopefully that it would all not be in vain. But the virus of the evil swarms have hit Noelia. She was unable to control her movements. Noelia has infected the ice barrier dragons and transforming them into their ultimate new forms.
Answering the prayers of the distraught tribes, the Constellars descended from the heavens to assist in the war against the Elswarm.
When Constella Caster was coming down, Gishki Cyclone, with a sneak attack, tried to attack Constellar Pollux. However, his brother stood by him. Constellar Caster fought back the invader and tried to save Constellar Pollux. However, Constellar Caster was captured. Caster was Constellar Pollux's half-brother before he was infected, turning him into Evil Swarm Caster.
The infected Noelia also revives the fallen leader of the Steelswarm, Hercules, and transforms him into an Eva Gishki under her control. At this point, the only tribes remaining to stand against the evil Elswarm were the unwavering Gem Knights, their strong sense of justice, unshakable. They ally themselves with the Constellar, and they start to engage the Elswarm in one final conflict. But then, the resurrected Hercules storms onto the battlefield. Hoping to end this once and for all, the Gem Knights merge their powers and create the ultimate warrior, Gem Knight Master Diamond, who engages Hercules in an all-out brawl.
As the Constellars watched this bravery, the Constellar leader, Constellar Pleiades, knew this as well. Constellar Pleiades has decided to go and attack the Evil Swarms head-on to protect his comrades as well. After being amazed by the fusion power and the justice of the Gem Knights, the Constellars awakened their true power, transforming themselves into a single legendary dragon, with Pleiades fusing them all together, creating Ptolemy M7, while M7 and Ouroboros fought in the sky.
But unknown to the ones fighting, the shrine at the Mist Valley had been stirring, and an ancient deity had been summoned. Sophia, goddess of rebirth, with her almighty powers, shifted the war to an end and reset the entire dual terminal world.
The sun comes in perfect alignment with the center of the Milky Way galaxy, which summons and releases Constellar Hazelrogue.
Ralselga, having met with the last surviving member of the Gem Knights, a young girl named Lazuli, crafted a plan hoping to end Sophia's cycle of destruction and rebirth once and for all. Using all of his strength, he uses the powers of all the fallen Constellars and imbues them into Lazuli, transforming her into Constellar Sombres.
Constellar Hazelrogue decided to fuse himself with Zelgigas, Ophion, Bahamut, and Ouroboros' dead bodies to have enough energy to possibly even take out Sophia, by fusing himself with the Gishkis, the Evil Swarms, to form a new form, Evil Swarm Cercion. With both this combination of both tribes merged together, Constellar Zombras and Evil Swarm Cercion combine their efforts to once restore peace to the dual terminal world by killing Sophia and her cycle of destruction and rebirth.